Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with the finale of Season 1 of our F123 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend. Formula 1 has finally made it back to the Middle East and we're here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you missed out yesterday's video where we went and did the inaugural Las Vegas race, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But we've got quite a lot to do before we jump into the main event here tonight. We've got to sort out all the upgrades on the car, make sure that everything is ready to go for Season 2. We've got to try and hire a new second driver. Yes, it definitely needs to be patched. Why you hire before Abu Dhabi, I will never know. But yeah, and then of course we've got the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix as well. But quickly, before we jump in with any of that, then I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for the support throughout the entirety of Season 1 of this series. At the time of recording this, we are very, very close to 110,000 subscribers. And of course, yeah, my team will be returning tomorrow with the start of Season 2 as well. So yeah, definitely make sure you want to get yourself subscribed. I've got quite a lot of stuff going on throughout the month of July, which I'm really, really looking forward to showcasing some of that with you as well. So exciting times here on the Matt212 YouTube channel. But let's go in then. First of all, we've got almost 5,000 R&D points to spend on trying to protect all of our upgrades ready for Season 2. Now, for those of you that might be new to the F1 game, always the best way of doing this is do the expensive parts first and then slowly go cheaper and cheaper. It means, of course, that you save a little bit of R&D if you can't save any of the parts. I think, looking at it, we are going to be good, though. We've got 143 R&D points left. But yeah, we have been able to get absolutely everything sorted that we wanted to there. So that's a really promising sign before we head into next season. And now we need to jump in and negotiate with... Watch negotiations. We want to go to the driver market. I don't think we definitely don't want to renew Aaron Barnes. I have loved some of the theories that you all have come out with. You know, are we sabotaging him? Has something else been going on behind the scenes? You know, could Aaron Barnes go somewhere else and become a world championship driver? I don't think we're really going to find out, to be honest. But yeah, you guys voted in your thousands. I cannot thank you all enough for everyone that voted. And with over 60% of the vote, Alex Albon is actually going to hopefully become our teammate ready for Season 2. There you can see a massive boost on the stats relative to Aaron Barnes there. Albon, you know, I've probably been one of his biggest hype men as well throughout the entirety of this season. And immediately, I can't approach him there. We need to have Spec 1 facilities, apparently. So, okay, we'll go down then to our next potential driver. That was, in fact, I think it was Oscar Piastri was second up on my list. Will Oscar Piastri be interested in joining the team? Yes, he will. But I'm not going to do that quickly. I think... a lot of people, apparently, are going with Oscar Piastri, so I am actually going to try Kevin Magnussen first of all, then slightly higher rated. Maybe, I mean, he might not be interested in the team. No, he will not, so this is really not great for us. I mean, why isn't Albon interested? It seems very, very strange. I thought we had everything that Albon could possibly ever want. Apparently not. I mean, do we need to upgrade any more facilities? I mean, we've got a bit of money in the bank, but it obviously won't be done before the final race of the season. If we go like that, drop a couple of mil onto some resources. Now can we try? We might have to sim one day ahead, obviously to try and get Albon in. Of course, I cannot keep Aaron Barnes for the start of Season 2. We have got to go in and get someone. I can't offer Albon a role, so I'm going to have to try with Kevin Magnussen then. I can't offer Magnussen a role either. Why can't I offer anyone anything? Have I broken the game? Right, well, okay, then we can try and send out an offer then to Teo Porcher, ready for Season 2. Of course, my former teammate back on F122. I mean, we're going to go with a low-risk one there, 1.6 million for Teo. We might be able then to make some more driver moves come the end of the season. No, we won't. He's locked in for 158 days then, so Teo Porcher will be joining us for the final race of the season then. Clearly, either has already wrapped up the F2 Championship or is just happy to take on his Formula 1 role a weekend early, but There we go. Very, very weird. Of course, we have still got the big championship battle going on. 3 points between Ferrari and Red Bull as well as we head into the final race weekend of the year. It looks like Alonso has already retired as well, which is a little bit strange, but I don't think we've seen any other... We have seen other driver transfers. Okay, so Nick de Vries has gone to McLaren. Sargent and Piastri have both gone to Aston Martin. Hulkenberg has gone to AlphaTauri. Stroll has gone to Haas. Any other movers further up, though? It looks like everything else has pretty much stayed even. So that is very, very weird. And unfortunately, obviously means as well, we won't be able to do pre-season testing for Season 2, because of course you'd already know where everyone's going. But there we go then. Apparently we've done silly season before Abu Dhabi. That desperately needs fixing. Well, it's the first time in half a season then we've had a semi-competent teammate in the other car, but yeah, it seems like such a weird little oversight by EA and Codemasters there that we've now got all these driver transfers before the season has even finished. Lance Stroll, weirdly, leaving his dad's team there. Aston Martin with a whole new lineup ready for Season 2, and it is going to take me a couple of weekends to learn about who has gone where. Forgive me, of course, when we head to Bahrain tomorrow, but yeah, it seems quite weird as well. Obviously, like I said, where I normally do those off-season winter rumours and transfers and everything like that, of course, won't logically be able to do that. I mean, people still want to see that, even though we know where everyone's gone. It seems like a bit of a redundant video now until, I mean, I'm sure EA will patch it. But yeah, a bit of a shame in that regard. But I suppose it means you get more racing action nonetheless. But we've still got one more weekend to do this season. Not really a lot to play for us. We can really just enjoy ourselves around this venue. But yeah, I'm excited to see how different drivers get on in their new seats there. Of course, that also means I've only just put this together. Alonso's final ever Grand Prix was Las Vegas, so he's retired before the final race of the campaign, which is very, very dumb. EA, just please change that. It's not a good look. Anyway, at the final corner, is this going to be a perfect lap? It is! First perfect lap of the season, maximum points. Right, onto our race simulation run then. Of course, it wouldn't be F123 without trying to chuck me a qualifying sim run that will be impossible to do. Liam Lawson, obviously, into his Williams seat as well, so we couldn't even see that before we got into the weekend. So Lawson now alongside Alex Albon then, and I can only assume that's why we couldn't sign the drivers that we wanted to, because they were also locked into contracts elsewhere. Of course, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, Lewis, that's not great. Trying to start our second race sim lap there, and Lewis Hamilton out of the pit lane. I do understand you kind of get fired a bit onto the racing line there, but it felt like he could have got on with it a bit more. Well, after Lewis decided he'd try and get in the way starting my lap, he just hit me! Hamilton trying to go for touring car style moves as we make our way through the final sector here. Abu Dhabi again. You know, the track changes I always thought were actually quite good around this venue, but F122's handling model made this track still ridiculously difficult. Hamilton peeling back in with a broken wing, but we're going to get another purple score then on the board. Pace seems quite promising here early on, as yeah, Hulkenberg now AlphaTauri is a rather rogue one. But anyway, let's dive into qualifying. Well, last real chance of the season to really throw this car around in anger. Would love to make it back into Q2 once more. Of course, often I wouldn't actually know the exact numbers, but I would have thought we'd probably have more Q1 knockouts than getting through into Q2. There are, of course, a couple of Q3 appearances earlier on in the season as well. But yeah, would love to try and make it back into Q2 one final time, and of course showcase what this team is going to be capable of. Feeling weirdly confident about Season 2 of this series. I won't lie, I think we've got a good chance to try and elevate ourselves up the order. And of course, you know, Season 2 often is where you're really trying to cement yourself as a midfield runner and potentially trying to fight at the top of that group. We've proved ourselves to absolutely be the team to beat at the back markers. Often through a couple of lucky results, especially late on in the campaign. But I've learnt so much about F123 from this season. I cannot wait to carry those skills forward into the next campaigns as well, as Nick de Vries in his McLaren car there. That's quite a weird little storyline in the end, but, you know, fair play to him. I mean, this could be a fantastic opportunity to see Sargent score his first points of the season, as well as Nick de Vries there. Of course, confirmation that neither of them will be getting dropped from Formula 1 either, despite a pretty lackluster first season. That's a lot of curb through the final corner, but up towards the line. P16, we just about make it above the cut-off as we push down, Nico Hulkenberg. Of course, in his new, rather odd gig at AlphaTauri. Is he eyeing up a Red Bull seat in the future? Well, less than a minute on the clock then. Hamilton currently down in the drop zone early on here in Q1. But yeah, we have now also joined him. Teo Porcher struggling a little bit for pace in his first F1 weekend. But I tell you, someone that isn't, that's Liam Lawson. If you remember, for those of you that watched that F122 My Team career mode, the final season, Lawson finally got an F1 gig. And he was absolutely rapid throughout the first few races. Deserved to win about 3 Grand Prix. And this was from debut, remember. So, yeah, maybe he'll carry on that form into F123. Let's just see what we can do then through that first sector there. Fractionally up. First lap honestly felt quite hooked up. There were a couple of small mistakes right towards the end of the lap. But we've just got to be brave. Just got to focus up and really try and nail it. Away under the hotel. Remember when this place came into Formula 1? That is an awful line. I absolutely deserve to lose a 10th there. Yeah, 2 tenths down those who make our way into the final corner. And just like Las Vegas then, unable to find the time we need out of the final corner. P19 on the grid here. That was not quite the send-off I had in mind for the car, I'll be entirely honest. But, yeah. Go then, having a look at our final Q1 results. George Russell, yeah, looks like we have got the typical top 6, if you will. Carlos Sainz are a little way away. Ferrari, of course, they need to try and make score that they still outfinish Red Bull this weekend there. Any major surprises? Oh, Logan Sargent out still in Q1, despite his new car. Liam Lawson there in his debut weekend, qualifying P17, not too far away from Alex Albon there. Hulkenberg out, Nick de Vries still out, and Teo Porcher. That's not reassuring. 1.2 seconds off myself there come the end of his run. Gonna have to put a lot of work in over the winter. But one final time then here for Season 1 of the My Team Career Mode. Let's do this thing. Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Quickly, before we jump into today's video, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be attending the British Grand Prix next weekend on race day Sunday. A massive thank you to a new partner in Moonrise Sports. They're actually hosting a lottery-style giveaway over on their website where you can win 2 race day tickets to the Grand Prix as well. So if you haven't been able to pick up a ticket yet, it costs £2 to enter and 25% of the proceeds will be going to the Race Against Dementia charity. So you're supporting a good cause in the process, and yeah, if you want a good chance at winning Grand Prix tickets, this is probably one of the best places to go. The competition ends on the 4th of July, so like I said, I'll leave a link down in the description, and yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out, and a massive thank you to them.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's an unusual race day today at the Yas Marina circuit, where wet conditions like this are fairly uncommon. 16 corners here, 7 to the right and 9 to the left. We won't be seeing any DRS assistance unless things dry out a lot later on in today's Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Ocon, Stroll, Magnussen, Albon, Bottas, Tsunoda, Sargent, Mr. Monaco, Verstappen, De Vries, Teo Porcher, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Liam Lawson and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Right, it's been a long, hard season. We're almost at the end, but we cannot switch off until after that checkered flag today. Let's try and end today's race on a high note.
Well, wise words there from Mark once again, and what a journey it has been throughout this first season. Wasn't expecting rain, to be completely honest, here in Abu Dhabi, but yeah, we'll wait and see as to how this goes. Maybe the plan of action will just be trying to take those intermediate tyres as far as we can, as it doesn't look like that rain is going to be moving out at any point. No stop strategy tonight. Red Bull already with even more issues, though. Verstappen with grid penalties. Penalties galore have bumped me up into P15. But yeah, this looks at the moment like it's Ferrari's chance to wrap up a first title since 2008. While Mercedes lining up then 1-2 on the grid this weekend, clearly marking their intent ready for next season. They've been a lot closer to Ferrari and Red Bull this campaign. Still only 100 points away come the end of it, despite the two big dogs battling so much for both world championships there. Mercedes, yeah, really not dropped back. But P15 on the grid then. Intermediate conditions here in Abu Dhabi, apparently. Let's do this thing. One last dance here of my team season 1. Waiting on those 5 red lights. Hopefully we can try and get a clean getaway. Lights out and away we go there. Plenty of wheel spin as we try and put the power down. Logan Sargent immediately going to try and have a look through the middle of Bottas and Tsunoda there as we have to try and go to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. I think that was Verstappen as well, trying to get involved, who just barged into my side pod. So we know how aggressive the Dutchman can be off the start of a Grand Prix there. As again, Bottas now trying to look down the inside as we pick the wrong lane to follow through turn 3. They're down the hill in towards the hairpin. Down the inside of Logan Sargent, we're going to try and have a look in his all-new Aston Martin car. Tsunoda, of course, staying at AlphaTauri, and Alex Albon, oh, how desperately I wanted him in our car alongside us, but he's staying at Williams apparently for Season 2. Of course, we've heard a lot of talks from them recently about how they really want Albon to be their long-term future project. As down the inside of Tsunoda, no, we won't. There's Sargent there getting involved, and we'll try and get around the outside then. Thank you very much. We will take Tsunoda in the end, leave them to squabble and pick up the pieces. So straight into 12th place we go then of the Grand Prix. 3 places gained on this opening lap. Looks like Mercedes still locked in at the front of the field there. Charles Leclerc still ahead of Sergio Perez. And yeah, it could be a bit of a battle between Checo and Charles today, of course, depending on how well Verstappen and Sainz can recover positions up the order. Not quite sure how Verstappen ended up down in P15 after he took penalties last weekend in Vegas, but I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles down at Red Bull apparently. But yeah, winding our way through the final couple of corners. It is still a Mercedes 1-2 at the front of the field there. Russell will continue to lead the way. We're coming towards the end of lap 3. It already feels like we're very, very bedded in early on to this race. Keeping in touch with Albon and Stroll just in front of us. Seems like the other Haas car, Kevin Magnussen, fairly comfortable where he is. So I'm guessing, yeah, all it was when we tried to sign those drivers is they would already sign contracts with their own teams ready for next season, of course, after I simmed the first day. That's all I can really think of. It all just seems a bit broken. Perhaps I'm trying to reason with madness here. But yeah, Verstappen, hello. Verstappen there now up into P14, so clearly he's going to be trying to make progress as well very soon. We're just trying to knuckle down. I mean, 29 laps around here often doesn't feel like a particularly long afternoon, especially with all the track changes, but in the rain, it's a very different kind of challenge. As now it looks like Verstappen then has pulled off the move on Yuki Tsunoda. I'm sure there's very much someone at Red Bull sending a phone call down to AlphaTauri going, yeah, remember what's still at stake for us tonight. Maybe there's a little bit of fear involved, but I would like to put a car between Verstappen and myself once again, as Sargent seems to have moved past the AlphaTauri as well. Seems like we have got very, very competitive straight line speed around this venue, so maybe now if we can get a good run out of here, Lance Stroll taking way too much curb might allow us to. Maybe, you know, apparently he's going to invite me to the inside as well, even better. Lance Stroll at Haas seems like quite a cursed image inside F123, but around the outside he'll try and look. We will make the move work though, and up then into 11th place we go. Oh, yellow's out. Someone's got issues. Is that a car behind? Is that a car in front? Looks to be a car behind. Looks to be an Alfa Romeo then. So don't know whether that's Bottas or Zhou Guanyu. Get confirmation in just a moment. It is Bottas out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that's for a virtual safety car. That's not really going to change much, is it? I was and ahhing about whether it's worth pitting at the end of this lap. No, apparently it's not. Virtual safety car coming to an end. Make sure I don't get screwed over by the Delta. We will try and get going again then. Green flag racing here in Abu Dhabi. Doesn't look like Bottas's car has been removed anyway. But yeah, I think we did pretty well there. We haven't lost anything to Albon. Great. And now Verstappen is again directly the car behind me. So we need to try and get past Albon. Whoa, ASAP there. Nice little drift. We're meant to be looking after the tyres early on, seeing if a no-stop might be possible. Just at 1/4's distance. No, it will not. No, it absolutely will not. Trying to make big gains then on Alex Albon as we head out onto the back straight. Of course, no DRS still. Probably won't see that this weekend. But anyway, we have actually got a mega run though on the Williams. Are we going to be able to have a look down the inside into the braking zone? Not brave enough, it would appear. And unfortunately, that's really compromised my exit as well, unless Albon sits on that curb, which looks like he has done. Wheels spinning in 4th and 5th gear still, but this time round to the outside then of the Williams. Are we going to be able to try and get the nose there? Yes, we will. Keep using the battery. Get wedged out over the curbing. And look at that. We just bottomed out and went straight on. Narrowly avoid the wall. Verstappen will say thank you very much, as well as Lance Stroll. That was scary. Yeah, clearly did not know that was going to happen when we got forced out there. But Albon, robust defending, I think we'll call it. Right, see if we can try and get another run then on Sir Lancelot here, as Albon trying to defend from his former teammate in Max Verstappen. Is Stroll going to go defensive on me? Yes, he is. That's going to allow us an avenue down the outside. Get the car slowed down there, a little bit of front lock-in, but Verstappen still not found a way around the Thai driver there, and Albon will actually get the traction down off the corner and stay ahead of the Dutchman. We get clean around the outside, though, of Sir Lance, and pull away immediately a second from him, so clearly really struggling to find the balance in that car. But yeah, I mean, if Albon can do me a solid after barging me off, that would be nice. Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, oh no, George Russell, sorry, into the pit lane. Surely they're not two-stopping this afternoon. I know the tyre wear's worse than I was expecting, but a one-stop is still very much doable here. But either way, we're now inside the top 10, and yeah, that's a bold call. Here we go, though. Verstappen again to the inside of Alex Albon as we head down the back straight. Will the Red Bull have the top-end speed? I mean, we know just how racy that Williams is. Are we just going to be able to try and sit back and switch them both off the corner there? We've really opened up the exit as best as possible. You can see Verstappen not able to get the power down. Albon, though, having to give him the room, is not able to get the power down. And we're going to try and get the 2 for 1 as we head out onto the back straight. They do not want to get forced out over that curbing. Mark Martin spoke a bit too soon, congratulating me, because Albon will still be there as, Verstappen trying a touring car style bump and run on me. Got on the rear quarter, but luckily we hang on to it there. Scary moment of oversteer, but this is fantastic racing. The gloves are off, the elbows are out between the Williams, a 2-2 Motorsport car, and the Red Bull, somehow. I think this time around, hopefully, as long as I don't do anything stupid, this should be the opportunity we get on Alex Albon. Get on the battery, get to the inside. Yep, the Williams this time can't even try and defend from me there as we head out onto the back straight, and I'm sure they're going to be most of the way in front, even if he tries it around the outside into the braking zone, which he will. Should be able to cover it off, get the car slowed down. Just a little stab of throttle there at the apex, just to make sure we're fully in front. And, well, we're going to try and leave Albon to defend from Verstappen for a little while longer. As, yeah, Sainz and Magnussen then, next 2 cars at the road. Seems like this race is split out into little groups at the moment, it would appear, as Verstappen has immediately gone past Albon. So, thanks a lot, mate. Well, now we've got Max Verstappen and George Russell breathing down my neck here. Lap 13, not going to be long before we peel into the pit lane. There is a nice front double lock-up. Russell trying to make a move on the Dutchman. I'm sure Max Verstappen won't let him get away with it particularly easily, but looks like Russell has done it. Of course, on those much fresher tyres, so effectively, we are racing George Russell from here to the flag. I think he is probably going to fly past me pretty quickly, but if I could stay ahead to the pit window, maybe we have got a chance. Oh, getting very, very loose and lively there over the curbing, and George Russell will say thank you very much. That could have easily been GG's for us as we slide the car through the hairpin. Come on, go in a straight line, please, car. Because, yeah, Verstappen now just 1 second away. Albon dropping back slightly. Points are definitely still the target. I think it'd be nice, you know, if we could finish off the year. I mean, what would that be? 4, 5 races in a row in the points? A very nice way to finish off the campaign. But yeah, Russell is pretty much immediately going to sail off into the sunset by the looks of it. Sainz and Magnussen still battling it out. It's costing both of them a lot of time. And that could be critical for Red Bull in the constructors, of course, because if Verstappen can get to them and get the jump on Sainz, Perez is not far behind Charlie. Lando Norris then into the pit lane, same for Pierre Gasly. Probably should have boxed then, to be entirely honest. I think Hamilton has as well. Yeah, Hamilton and Leclerc both into the pit lane, so we really should have boxed then. Verstappen as well behind me, getting into the pit lane, but we are going to dive in at the end of this lap. Here comes Lewis to the outside. Don't really think I've got much I can do to fight him. Here we go, Lewis Hamilton then will slip by. Charles Leclerc now, our new world champion, of course, Charles Leclerc. And how weird is that going to be if a driver's in a championship fight going into the... Like, say, for example, Verstappen and Leclerc had suddenly decided they were switching teams ready for next season. Leclerc would have won the world championship with Ferrari and then immediately be going into the final race trying to fight against Ferrari to win the world championship. It seems like it's a disaster waiting to happen. Or we could end up in a bizarre scenario where, say, Leclerc had signed up for Williams next season, came into this race with a 24-point lead, Max doesn't win, and suddenly we see Charles Leclerc win a world championship in a Williams from like P14. There's a lot of questions left to be answered about that. But anyway, into the pit lane then. I think we've done Lewis Hamilton a bit of a solid there by keeping Leclerc at bay. I noticed there were some yellow flags out. I'm guessing that's between Sir Lance and it must be the other Aston Martin car there, not Logan Sargent. I forgot who's in the other Aston Martin. This is all too complicated for my little brain. That's not helpful either. It's a very, very slow pit stop then, so Verstappen probably now is going to get the jump on me. Cost us a good couple of seconds as Teo into the pit lane, as that is a horrible pit lane exit in the rain. I forgot just how bad that would be, and now we have been pushed out of the points. Oh, yellow's out. Someone's got issues. It's the other Alfa Romeo Joe Guanyu. He caused a safety car a couple of weekends back, spinning out in Brazil. But I think we're not going to get a safety car here. I don't think he's out of the race. I think, yeah, he's just gone for a nice pirouette. I tell you what then, as we head into the second half of this final race. Not that I'm one for trying to kill the mood or anything, but unless we get a safety car or a red flag or something, I think the only real thing we've got the battle-wise is Esteban Ocon, isn't it? Who pit earlier on. He's going to have to pit again before the end of this race, so he's probably going to be closing in on me quite rapidly, but... yeah, we know we're quicker than Albon and Tsunoda behind. We know we're not quicker than Verstappen in front. We might be able to close it on Magnussen. But, yeah, really, this could be a battle for 10th place with the Alpine. There we go. Those are the cars peeling back into the pit lane then for the second time this afternoon. Esteban Ocon and George Russell. So Russell's, yeah, really going to have his work cut out if he still sees himself having a chance at this victory. But if Verstappen and Magnussen get locked into a bit of a battle, that could work out nicely for us. George and I are going to come out pretty much side by side there, but I'm quite happy for him just to take off down the road. So, I mean, yeah, 10 laps to go. Points should absolutely, so unless we get an engine failure or something like that, points should absolutely be doable here. But yeah, it really does depend now on which cars battle and for how long they battle for. But I still reckon Magnussen might be catchable.
Rain's going to keep getting heavier for the next 15 minutes at least.
Okay, team now saying the rain's going to get worse again. Not sure we'd ever see a switch to full wet tyres by the end of this, but I wouldn't be against it. And Magnussen has absolutely been screwed over in that battle though with Max Verstappen. The gap now down to just 2 seconds between myself and the Haas car, and George Russell now in hot pursuit. Oh, Magnussen! I can just see through the spray there, pushing George right down towards the white line there. You're going to love the fight that the Dane has. Yeah, a little bit gutted that we couldn't sign him, but I think he was kind of the rogue choice out of the lot, especially after the incident in Singapore a few weeks ago. But now Magnussen is right in our crosshairs. 7 laps to go here in Abu Dhabi. It hasn't been the most dramatic race in the world, but as I mentioned, I can't remember, I think it was Belgium, when I said you get one of 2 types of wet races. Or either get ones like Belgium or ones like Mexico, and it seems, yeah, Abu Dhabi was always going to give us more like Belgium this weekend. Right, come on then, 5 laps to go. Magnussen now just in front of me, and we are trying to find an opportunity there. Definitely won't find one. With lines like that, Tokyo drifting our way through the chicane down the back straight. As, yeah, Verstappen as well. Seems like we're all closing in on one of the Alpines, I think. That's got to be obviously be Pierre Gasly, hasn't it? I think the other Alpine behind us trying to get involved in another battle. 13 seconds clear of Albon, though, so unless we span or something crazy happen, we should be safe from them. But we need to get Magnussen, and maybe, just maybe, we can try and get Pierre Gasly as well. Come on, and this time around, even closer to Kevin Magnussen as we head down the back straight. I mean, again, just going to have to try and out-traction him off the corner. As you can see now, I mean, if Verstappen and Gasly, of course, former teammates, go side by side, we could bring us a whole lot closer to the pair of them. But Magnussen seems to have learned not to take too much curbing off of that corner. It's not going to stop us, though, trying to get a run on the Haas. As we head down the back straight. Oh, he's going to try and force me, but he brakes a lot earlier than I was expecting. It was a good job we weren't directly behind him. And we'll try and make it through there. Magnussen trying to hang on there, but the Haas has not got enough grip late on in the day. And maybe just by staying out 1 extra lap on our first set of intermediates, we're able to nurse these ones slightly better late on here. But Gasly, 3 seconds up the road. Could we still try and recover a couple more scraps? Oh, yellow's out. Magnussen. Oh, that might be why we have such an easy move on him then. Magnussen clearly trying to nurse issues late on in the day. Both Haas cars seem to have stopped almost simultaneously in this race. Could that bring out a really late safety car? I'm not sure we've got enough laps left to do it. Magnussen out, and Hulkenberg as well, I think. Sorry, no, it won't be Hulkenberg. Now, will it be Lance Stroll? I think he might just have spanned then late in the day, but suddenly Albon now has got a chance at just a singular point in the final race of the year for Williams. I'm sure they'd love that as a bit of an extra consolation, especially after I knocked, it was Albon out, wasn't it, at the points last weekend in Las Vegas. But yeah, we're waiting for Gasly against Verstappen, because I'm not closing in otherwise. Oh, yellow's out. One of the McLarens, Lando Norris. Late on in the day, Lando Norris has gone round here in Abu Dhabi, so a heartbreak for McLaren there. What has Lando done with just 1 lap to go of the season? Well, let's ride then at seeing what Lando Norris did. Late race under pressure here from George Russell. Just 1 lap to go after this one. And I'm guessing he tips it in and gets way too early on the throttle. Yes, he does. Just comes off the racing line slightly there. Lucky that he didn't let the car roll back, and apparently, yeah, just about able to get it turned around off the circuit there. But Lando Norris, late on in the afternoon, that is surely a bit heartbreaking for McLaren. A heartbreak then for him, but it's going to promote us up an extra place then, as we're about to start the last lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And looking at the front of the field, Charles Leclerc, I'm trying to do the maths in my head, I'm pretty certain, yeah, Ferrari looks like they should, as long as nothing dramatic changes, be crowning themselves double world champions for the first time since 2007. It's been an absolutely crazy opening campaign here, F123. Obviously, we saw the unpredictability early on there. Red Bull started the year with a dub back in Bahrain. We thought that, you know, it was a dominant display by the Red Bull team. Ferrari bounced back, though, winning the next 2 in Saudi Arabia and then, of course, in Australia. Max Verstappen fought back victory in Baku before we saw Mercedes take a couple of wins, and Checo Perez, of course, winning out. I think it was round 8 of the campaign, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, the Dutchman, he had such a big lead on the championship. By the halfway stage, it really did look like it was going to be one of those Verstappen, everyone else taking points off each other, and the Dutchman just consistently winning would build up a ginormous lead. But we come off the summer break, and Verstappen just has not been able to hook it up. He has not won a single race in the second half of this season. Charles Leclerc crowned himself world champion last weekend. Ferrari, as their #1, rounds the final couple of corners. They are finally going to be world champions once again as well then. So double glory for Maranello once more there. But round in the final few corners, Hamilton will come through for P2. Checo Perez did all he could, but could only muster up P3 there. Russell in 4th ahead of Carlos Sainz. Gasly mixing it up with the big 6 as well. You absolutely love to see it. But through the final corners, it's going to be P8 in the end for us. 4 very valuable points and the end to a fantastic debut campaign.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
That's it then, they've taken the win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there in cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. So then, Ferrari have now moved out of sight and out of reach. It's another triumph for the Italian team as they claim the World Constructors' Championship. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc, another race victory to add to the resume. And Ferrari, like we said, finally back on top there. Hamilton and Sergio Perez rounding out the podium, though, goes to show just how close it was between our top 3 teams come the end of the year there. Russell, Sainz, Gasly, Verstappen, myself, Norris and Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10. So Albon narrowly missed out when all is said and done this weekend there. Magnussen and Bottas, the only 2 not to make it to the checkered flag. And yeah, Teo Porcher, though, I think with that singular result, means he beats out Aaron Barnes as well, which is quite nice. Lawson on debut, P17, not too disappointing. Sargent, of course, beating out his new teammate, Oscar Piastri. Still not quite sure why Aston Martin have done that, but there we are. But it does mean 46 points the lead come the end of the year there between our top 2. Perez was closer to Verstappen than Verstappen was to Charles Leclerc come the end of the season. Hangs on ahead of George Russell by just 3 points at the end of the year. Sainz beats out Hamilton, so Lewis will finish P6 in back-to-back World Championships there. Alonso, yeah, apparently decided he didn't want to do Abu Dhabi. Will still lock out best of the rest ahead of Lando Norris. We do survive in P9 as well, able to beat out Lance Stroll and both of those Alpine cars. No thanks to those mega results we scored late on in the campaign there. Hulkenberg ahead of Tsunoda. Albon with 15 points on the board for Williams there. Magnussen, Bottas and Piastri, with Zhou Guanyu unable to score. Logan Sargent, Nick De Vries, Enzo Fittipaldi, Liam Lawson, Teo Porcher and Aaron Barnes there, all not getting off the starting blocks. But yeah, I mean, Liam Lawson, of course, it meant that Williams had 3 drivers on the board, but 4 drivers for us. I don't think I've ever seen a championship table with 25 cars on it inside the F1 game. So that's a pretty cool little fun thing as well there. Constructors-wise, though, yep, Ferrari did manage it. 18 points at the end of the year. They're 711 after 23 races. There is a magnificent total for them. Red Bull and Mercedes just, 18 and 106 points back. Goes to show Season 2 is going to be a brilliant battle once more there. Aston Martin in 4th, a long way ahead of McLaren, but Alpine got close by the end of the year as well. We finished in P7, 78 points to our name. A very, very good total, if I do say so myself. Beating out Haas, AlphaTauri, Williams, and yeah, Alfa Romeo. So unlucky to walk away with just 9 points come the end of the year. But that's going to do us then. Season 1 of the F123 My Team Career Mode all ticked off and done in the books. Thank you all so much as always for watching this video. Like I said, the daily uploads will not be going anywhere anytime soon. We'll be back tomorrow then, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I promise you do not want to miss that as we continue our march up the Formula 1 world. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.